Whatever you do, please don't watch Borderlands. This isn't even a fun Madam Web type of movie where I goofily say, guys, don't watch the film because it's incompetent. No, this is the worst type of bad. It's a garish, empty film trying to make as much money as possible, and through that, ends up being one of the most soulless and infuriating films I have ever seen. Now, if you're like me, you might have heard of Borderlands, the video games, but never really gotten into them. Borderlands is a 2024 film, though, adapting the video game series Borderlands, a beloved series of 3 games and a few telltale spin-offs that is a looter shooter known for its great world building, innovative looter shooter style, and its fans that love it for its unique niche it built for itself. Too bad none of that translates to this film, because this film on a fundamental filmmaking level is incompetent. First off, the world building is atrocious. In any film, you want to ease us into a location diegetically so we're able to get oriented. It's just basic direction. Show us an establishing shot, establish where we are, allow us to spend some time in our new location, explain it to us diegetically, or use the world or production design to allow us to soak in this world we're being thrown into. This is doubly as important in sci-fi fantasy when it's a world that's not our own. Like, let's just look at a good example for one. Look at Star Wars and how long it takes for us to just get used to Tatooine before our journey starts. Or even just look at the Borderlands games and how much time you spend in the world of Pandora getting used to it before the main story gets going. Here though, in Borderlands, within the first 15 minutes we get a prison break on a random ship, a sci-fi bar interrogation, and a brand new planet we've never seen. It is way too much. I have never been this confused watching a movie since I watched Mulholland Drive. I was genuinely disoriented within the first 20 minutes and had no clue what was going on. With Borderlands, if you don't know anything about this franchise, you're cooked. It's cinematically just incomprehensible. Like, imagine your poor grandma wanting to see the funny Kevin Hart movie and she ends up watching this. She might genuinely have an aneurysm. Now, I can't hear you and you might be saying, that's not fair because this is a film that is made for the fans. And in that case, is this really what you want? A film that is extremely ugly with empty shells of characters instead of the iconic game characters subbed out for A-list actors just here for a check? This film has as much of what makes Borderlands special as a Fortnite skin, because the characters are completely one-dimensional, so the actors are just playing themselves, which ends up removing any of the personality or the character of what makes those Borderlands characters special. And I don't even know if I can blame the actors, because I think if you have a screenplay that fundamentally doesn't give any of your characters any motivation or any personal objectives or anything an 8th grader would tell you makes an interesting character, you basically just have to play yourself to add any charisma to this character. And that ends up making a film that appeals to no one. It has characters that the average Joe doesn't want to see because they're uninteresting, and it's definitely not what a Borderlands fan wants to see because their favorite characters are getting butchered and have none of the original personality or charisma that made them fall in love with those characters in the first place. And this utter lack of direction is why this film is truly horrid. That laser-focused, M-rated looter shooter is why that game has as much personality and charm that has made it last for years. This film, though, has no interest in being a unique piece of art like those games. It just ends up wanting to use its big cast to appeal to a large market demographic with a PG-13 rating, allowing everyone to go see it so it can put as many people in those crusty theater seats. This is the most corporate and gross film I've seen in a while, and I haven't seen a film this soulless in years. It is truly miserable to watch because there's nothing here, and it feels like a type of movie that should have gone extinct in 2004. This isn't funny like Madam Web, where it's trying to do something and falls flat on its face. This is the equivalent of Pacific Rim Uprising. Throughout this entire movie, I didn't laugh once. I was staring at this movie like a World War I veteran. I could not believe what I was seeing. Borderlands is a 1 out of 10, easily the worst film I've seen this year, and it just fundamentally doesn't understand the basics of filmmaking or what makes a successful adaptation. Please do not watch this movie. I would rather watch the Tech Night episode of The Boys 50 times in a row before ever rewatching this. Anyways, I'm gonna go watch a 3-hour French film or something to clean this out of my brain. I'll see you guys later this week. Watch Trap instead!